everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome to the first Serp Tech webinar of 2018. Welcome back. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know we all did over here. So good to see all of you coming back for more of these webinars. Now we are going to scale these back a little bit. I think we're going to do these Serp Tech webinars maybe once a month now, because I think right now we haven't brought in a lot of new members over the past 6 months or so, and we've kind of just been letting everybody run with what they got. So we're gonna do these once a month now instead of once every week, just because they're getting a little bit repetitive, and I know everybody's pretty well versed in using the software. I know there's always questions that pop up here and there. We like to do site reviews, and we still just like to teach and have fun and talk about the things that we're doing out here with everybody. So with that being said, today on the webinar we have Miss Natalie. Are you there, Natalie? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Howdy.
All right. Nat sounds coming in loud and clear for me. Jason, we have Jason on the call too. Jason, can you hear me?
How you doing? Happy New Year, guys.
All right, that's Jason right there, so coming in loud and clear. And Mr. Herc Magnus, are you there?
Yeah, here as always.
All right, there's Mr. Herc. I can hear him too, loud and clear. So today, guys, we don't have anything specific to go over. We're probably going to keep this a little bit short and sweet, maybe to about an hour. So get your questions ready to go, and the four of us will appropriately take your questions. So unless Herc, do you have something you want to start off with there? You can go right ahead.
Nope, nothing much, guys. Nothing really new. Nothing changed. Obviously, we weren't working much over the holidays, so let's just get right into it, guys. We're gonna, like Todd said, we're gonna do the Q&A and site reviews, and keep it short and sweet to about an hour, unless there's no questions. Obviously, if there's no questions, then there's no content. So if you guys have questions about anything at all, fire away with your questions. If you want site reviews and you're willing to share them on the webinar, please post your link to your site in the chat box, and we'll start going through everything. Okay, we'll start off with Eric here. He says, can you cover how much static content versus dynamic content on a category page and for a post? You're definitely going to want more static content, Eric. Sorry, more dynamic content, I should say. So let's just log into one of the best performing sites of mine, at least. Let's do this. We'll go into asbestoslaw.pro. This is one of the very, very early builds that I did for everyone. Hopefully everything's still in there. And I haven't touched this site in a long, long time. Okay, so there's the Serp Tech. And we'll go to the builder. I'm not sure if it's even still in there. No, it's not. Okay. Well, basically, guys, when we're building our sites, okay, we have the few options that we can put in. We always say static content up front, basically like a paragraph, you know what I mean, of static content that you pull from somewhere, and then you want to start filling it with the dynamic content, the thing like the H2s and the images and the articles, and you're definitely gonna. If I was to give you a percent, it would probably be 90% dynamic content and about 10% static content. It's quite heavy on the dynamic stuff, and that just helps you with the randomness of the content on the page. If Eric's saying, if the random article keeps changing, then how will a post rank consistently when the content is changing? It seems like there needs to be more content. Jason probably be better to answer that, but as far as I know, I don't know the science behind why it works. I do know it works though. I mean, we're still ranking quite well from very, very old sites. So it's kind of like when you get in your car and drive, do you need to know everything about how a motor works, or do you just need to know that it works? I mean, if you're really worried about it, Eric, you can use more static content, but that was not the way that the plugin was designed to work. We're using a lot more random content, and it is working. Do you want to add anything to that as well, Jason?
I think you hit the nail on the head right there, really. You know, if it isn't broke, why try and fix it? Obviously, you can, like Eric said, you can just use static, but what we found in terms of best practice is a combination of the two, obviously to keep the diversity.
I'll try and find a site too for you, Eric, to show you like my setup here. I'll go to one of my more recent builds. I know I did a guitar one somewhere. Let's see if I can load one up. Younger you. Let me hang on a second here. So I'm just showing you. These are all the builds that I've done. Let's go with a few. I know I did a guitar one. I just can't find it. If anyone wants to take one of the next questions, you guys do that, and I'll keep looking for this site that has a good example, and then I'll swing back around to that.
I've got one here from Brian. It says, can the static be inserted in Spintax? Yeah, the plugin does support Spintax. It also supports Spintax in the variety of different languages that we also support as well. But like I said, you know, in terms of good practice, what we found is we use a bit of static, we use a bit of random, and that yields the best results. The whole reason behind the Spintax is because that's what people are really used to, but it's not necessary, to be honest. But obviously, we just give the guys what they want. So I don't spin, but what I will do is definitely use the random content.
There's a question here from Sherman, who's asking about prospecting. And it says basically, and I need some glasses and I'm waiting for them to be delivered. Curious if you're wanting to bulk cold email prospects to a specific niche across all the states and provinces, would you prioritize the bulk email to get responses first, then build out the sites? Or would you build out Serp tech for a state and city areas first, then cold email prospects for that region? I think my gut feeling on that is that I would build, then prospect, because building takes like, what, 20 minutes to do a build? And then you've got something to show them. And then you use the Serp overlay as well. So if they are interested, you get on a call with them and use the local Supremacy overlay, and you can show them instantly the results of being at the top of those listings. I don't know if anyone else has different thoughts on that.
No, I 100% agree. If you're going to go into a meeting with a client and you have proof already there of rankings, and if you've done a little bit of research on the client that you're targeting, and you can take and find their website and overlay it right away, and then go to them and show them, look, here's the rankings I got, and notice every time I search for one of these sites, mine's showing up at Google, but when you click on it, it's yours that is the one that's actually displaying. It's a really powerful sales tactic. So I 100% agree with that. I'm going to swing back to Eric just because I did load up. I had this Wicked Good Pro site. This was like an affiliate guitar site that I built, and just wanted to show you kind of the methodology and the static versus the dynamic. So you can see here, I'll go over all three, okay, because you have basically the three templates. You have your homepage template, you have your category pages template, and then you have your posts template. And all three of them are very, very similar, okay? So you can see this is static content I use first, and then I'm using a random header for an H2, a little bit more static content, and then it's random image, random H2, random article, random image, random H2, random article. And when I pull articles in the H2s, those really provide the bulk of the content. So on the template builder, it actually looks like there's more static content than there is dynamic content. But once the content's pulled in, you'll see that we're pulling in full articles, and what you end up with, okay, this is the same page. This is the home page. So there's our static content, right? And then you get the random H2, a little bit more static. And then we start going into the dynamic content, which you can see really fills out the post quite a bit more. So it's on this one, it's probably more like 70-30. Same thing with category template. It's almost the same thing. I use a little bit of, I use a category name, okay, within some static content, just and in bold, so that it can get a little bit of dynamic like content inside of static content. Okay, so this static content, this whole paragraph will always display, but the category name will always change. I did the same thing here with an H2 tag, and then it's random, a little bit of static once again with a little bit of randomization in the static, and then a whole bunch of dynamic, static, static, dynamic, 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 and that's for category. I'll show you how that plays out. So we'll go to one of the category pages. So if I compare it, up here we have learning something songs on your guitar, and then should be a category page. Am I on categories? Categories. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, learning how to play No Way Back. So there's some static, and then it's a whole bunch of dynamic content. And then really that theme, this whole theme just plays right through even into the posts, okay? We have static with randomized dynamic inside of it, and then lots of randomization, okay? And then we'll just go show you one of those posts as well. We'll take any post. Good song, Check My Brain by Alice in Chains. Deadly song, okay? So there you go. Have you always wanted to learn how to play? And then Check My Brain. So this will always be the right song that lines up with the right artist. And then it just starts filling in all the other content. Does that work, Eric? I see a lot of rankings move around. That's why you ask. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Google too, Eric, you have to understand, Google itself, let's say you built these sites and they were completely static, okay? Everything was 100% static and it was always going to say the same. Rankings in Google change on a day-by-day basis for many, many reasons. Number one, Google's updating their ranking algorithms, okay? That's going to shuffle things around in Google. Number two, old sites are changing their content, or they're updating content, or maybe they're disappearing. That's going to shuffle things up in Google. Then new sites are coming online, okay? And that's going to shuffle things up in Google. So if you just look at it from the perspective of the Google SERPs on their own, those are always going to be changing. Now, as long as you're doing the best job of on-page and off-page SEO, you should be able to maintain a fairly stable ranking, okay? But just keep in mind that because we don't control anything about Google and we don't control anything about other people's building sites and changing sites, the rankings are completely a dynamic thing. They're always going to be changing. Brian, should we be aiming for about 2,000 word posts now? No. I mean, I don't even know how many. Let's do a quick little check here on how many words this particular post has. Okay, so you can always take a post, copy it, and then go to online word count and just Google it and just see how many. So I have like less than 1,000 words here, and we're still doing fine with a lot of our posts. So do what works. Do what works more than you do what people say you should be doing. You know what I mean? And Serp Tech group in the Facebook group is a great way to come in and ask people, like, if you want to say, you know, should we be using 1,000 words or 2,000 words or 500 words? What's working for you guys? You'll get a bunch of responses from people that are saying, you know, yes or no or whatever. And if you hear people saying, look, I'm only building with 600-700 words and it's working, then you know that it can work that way. All right, that's it for questions, guys. Thank you very much for coming on the Webby. Anybody want to do any site reviews? Kevin, are embedded videos a benefit or still advised against? I don't know where you heard that embedded videos were advised against, but I do know that the way that the indexer works in the background, it will embed a video, and that's part of the magic of getting indexed quickly. So I'm not sure where you got that information, but we definitely, embedding videos, as far as I know, has never hurt anything. Brian, how do you beat Yelp on the top of the first page? Will backlinking do it easily? Well, okay, to beat Yelp, you just have to do a better job of SEO for Yelp. Typically, the advantage that Yelp pages have, okay, is domain authority, meaning that they're hosted on Yelp. Now, it's going to be, like if we go, I don't know, I'll try and find one. Let's go Phoenix HVAC professionals, okay, something like that. We'll see if the Yelp comes up. There we go. We have a #1 Yelp. Now, so here's the thing. Let's click into this link. And actually, I'll show you another thing too before I click into that link. There's a little free Mozbar tool that you can get that'll show you the domain authority. So the point is here, the one thing that Yelp has going for it to help it rank is it's an authority site, right? It's the Yelp.com specific domain has a really, really high domain authority, and typically that's going to help it rank really, really high. But there's two elements to ranking. There's the domain authority, okay? Then there's the authority of the actual page that's ranking. Okay, so let me sign in here so that we can show you that. Okay, so let's refresh this page so these Moz bars show up. Hey man, feels like I'm logged into me. Why is that not working? Anyways, the point is you'll see high DAs typically with like big sites like Yelp. You'll see a really high domain authority, 70, 80, maybe not 90, but you'll see really high ones. And then page authorities won't be that high, okay? And you have to get the #1 ranking to beat something with a really high domain authority. You have to have a decent domain authority with a decent page authority, because this particular page, if I go into it, okay, we'll go look at it. This is an actual page on Yelp. It might not have the same, if it was a listing, it might not have the same page authority as what you can get. So yes, links will definitely help, Ryan. I don't want to say it will do it easily, because you know, you could, if you don't know how to build backlinks the right way, then you could actually screw things up. So the answer to your question is yes, good backlinks pointing to your site are definitely going to help, right? But if you point shitty backlinks, it's not going to help.
That also brings in the, you know, posting articles in buckets, like on Amazon and can't remember the other ones now. Because they're coming, then if you point those backlinks at an article that then links to the bucket article, then that bucket article is coming from a site that has big domain authority, as I understand it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help. Now I've got logged in, but now it's not showing my numbers here for some reason. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's an example. Okay, so if we do like Printer Repair Edmonton, okay, you can see the #1 site is Yelp, and this is exactly the scenario that I'm talking about, where they've got a really high domain authority, okay, meaning the domain yelp.ca is ranked through Moz's metrics anyways, is ranked at a 72, but the page only has 1 and it has 0 links to the particular page. So this site right now is outranking everything else just based on really solid domain authority. Okay, then the next site here, okay, this is my site. I have a low domain authority, 8, but I have a high page authority, 21, and I'm able to bump up to #2. So if I wanted to take Yelp down, I would just have to probably raise my domain authority by a few points. Like if I got it up to like a 15, or if I double it or something, I'd probably have enough of a balance of domain authority and page authority to be a more relevant result than this Yelp listing. Which buckets are follow? Amazon, Google, who else? YouTube. Natalie, maybe you take that one because I'm not super experienced in building from buckets. I would assume that the follow no follow isn't as important as having the link, but maybe you'll know more about that than I do.
Yeah, I was just typing a response to that actually. Oh, go on, Jason.
A quick one then. Pastebin, if you get a pro account, they have something called Markdown up in Google. That's a do follow.
Yeah,
so basically, yeah. So go on, Bob.
That's all right. You're sleep deprived. You go ahead.
Yeah, it has to be a pro account though. And also look out for the deals. So when I got my Pastebin account, I think it cost me, I think it's something like £27 or $27 or something like that. But if you look Pastebin Markdown, you'll know the format on how to actually create the link from Pastebin article, which would actually be a do follow link. So that's something you don't hear every day. Sorry, Nat, back to you, man.
No, that's fine. That's a new one for me as well, actually. That's good info. Also, the YouTube, and I know YouTube's meant to be no follow links, but I have seen juice flow through from YouTube on sites. So that's something that I'm experimenting with at the moment, is creating link wheels in YouTube and then pointing them back at the site as well, because as much as they're meant to be no follow, I think Google still reads it as being valuable information. It's one of their products, and I think that does send juice.
Here's guys, if you want to learn more about buckets, Natalie actually talked a lot about them. Oh, Atticus. Okay.
Down boy.
Yeah. Right here, if you just go to the Serp Tech training page, okay, and use your Control F or your search function and type in the word buckets, you can see there's 3 webinar spots that we've covered: CDNs and buckets, content distribution networks, PBN links to articles in Amazon buckets. There's one. And then where's the next one? There we go. Using different buckets tab, Serp Tech. That's Natalie again. And then the first one was up here, linking to PBNs, Serp Tech sites, how link juice flows like water from buckets. I think that was me talking about the water scenario. So there's a couple of different webinars that cover that topic in more detail as well. And if you want to I'll just say this quickly. If you want to download this file in your Serp Tech, if you go to the Serp Tech group, okay, and go to files, Supremacy webinar notes, it's Bob that's doing all the content updating for the Serp Tech webinar notes. You can actually download this file and then filter. You can turn on the filters. Like up top, there'll be filters. Like if you only want to see what Natalie's talking about, you just filter it by Natalie's topics or by product topics or content of the product topics. It's a really, really useful tool.
That's just what I was going to say, is that resource from Bob is, I've known Bob for years now. He's incredible. He's got an amazing eye for detail, and his notes are phenomenal, and that resource is phenomenal.
Any more questions, guys? Any site reviews or anything like that? Any further plans for Serp Tech and local supremacy development? I know for Serp Tech or for local, it's a slow process just because we did transfer ownership from Stephen to Todd and myself. So our coding team right now is learning all the code involved for the local supremacy side of things. Once he has a hand on that, then yeah, we can move forward and do more development. And I'm sure Jason will have more Serp Tech updates eventually. That'd be his question to answer. He's the developer of Serp Tech.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. We've down tools obviously for the holiday season, just starting back up now. Some other commitments in the background, but yeah, definitely. One of the things I did say I would bring to the community is the page builder. So ideally, I'd like to focus on that in terms of the next update.
Does anyone have any questions about niches, like business niches, and what to go for and what to stay away from, and what's going to bring in the dollars and what's not?
While we're waiting for that, Dominic says he's just saying he embeds both videos and maps on his sites and he doesn't have any issues with it. Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing either of those things. In fact, if you're embedding, like if you have a page, you know, that's targeting a certain city or geographical area, and you embed a Google map that also targets that, it's just a relevancy thing. It's creating more relevance for that particular post or page. Any more questions, guys? Local RSS feeds could help as well. Then Brian says, yeah, you could add RSS feeds to your page, or there's lots of widgets that can pull in RSS feeds. I think I did it on, what's that site? Columbus. Oh, geez. I have a PBN anyways. I forget the name of it now, but it's a Columbus PBN. It was an old government site that I grabbed, and I put in a RSS feed for news and an RSS for weather. Just little stuff like that helps make it a little bit more relevant to the topical content of the PBN. What do you mean, Eric? Any widget names? What do you mean by that?
I think he's wondering for recommendations of RSS feed widgets for WordPress.
Oh, just Google it. There's a whole bunch. I don't have any in particular that I recommend, but I mean, just go to WordPress and then search for a plugin RSS feed, and there's so many of them, and then just like here, I'll just even do it for you. Best WordPress plugin for RSS feed. See what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of info about RSS feed plugins. I mean, there's just a plethora of info. Look at these. Look at that. I mean, there's just tons of them. And then if you really want to know like which ones are good, just go buy the stuff that has a lot of active installations, a lot of high reviews, and that you see is still being developed. So meaning last updates are happening. You can see right here, last update 6 months ago. That's not bad. But if you're seeing somebody, you know, last update 1 month ago or 2 weeks ago, you know, they're actively developing that plugin. So look at those things once again. The reviews, the number of users that have downloaded, and how updated the plugin is, and then you'll find really good widgets. And that goes for any widget as well.
I've got one from Kevin just asking, what's a good niche to make some moolah fast? And we've all been in that situation, at least I have. I would say look at your close circle of who you know. Like, really, honestly, who do you know that you speak to all the time that's in business, that's looking for business? Make sure that you know, if you're speaking to people, that they want new business. This is quite common in the UK, where people go, no, I'm busy and I don't want any more money. And that really pisses me off, but seems to be a UK thing. In the USA, they seem to be a lot more sort of ready to embrace kind of expanding. So I would say, like, look at your niche of people and see what they're into, because especially if you know someone who's a carpet fitter or a plumber or a fridge repairs or something like that, look at the season as well. So depending on where you are, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's winter. So things that go wrong, like me, is I got back from Christmas and my heating's out. Trying to get someone to do gas repairs and stuff like that is, you know, it's instant work for them. So I would need to know a little bit more about where you sort of connect, or if you connect with people. Jeremiah's like totally right. In an early webinar, he said, you know, join your sort of local chamber of business or your local business groups, because they're people that are actually looking to expand. So, you know, they're not sitting back on their haunches and kind of, you know, pattering along. They're actually out there trying to make connections. They're looking for business. So that's a really, really good way. And local Facebook groups as well. You know, find out who's pitching for business on local Facebook groups, build them a site and get in touch. That's my initial thoughts. But honestly, I'd need a little bit more information about what your expertise is as well. So always, you know, it's easier to speak to people about niches when you know the business that they're in. Hope that helps. Not sure if it does, but I hope that helps.
Okay, Bob, put in a site here for review. So guys, when I do a review of a site without, you know, going and even looking into the back end of Serp Tech at how it was built, I always do three things, okay? Number one, I load the site and see what it looks like. I can tell a lot about a build just by looking at the site. Right now, this is a pretty big build targeting a lot of states, so you have a lot of categories. I don't know why all this white space is there. That's just kind of weird. I don't know what happened there. Change this home. So go to the post that you have as your home page post and change home to something like, you know, welcome to atowncar.loan, or just get a more keyword rich thing going on there. Before I actually get into that, let me finish the three things. Number one, I look at the site. Number two, I do a site index check. Okay, you have 229 results in Google. And then number three, I take any of the titles and do a search for the keyword to see if it's ranking. Okay, so for instance, I did this one and I saw you're ranking number 5. Okay, so right away it tells me you've done a good job. Okay, you're on the first page. You're doing things right. Now, can things be improved? Okay, so back to the site, and then we start getting into the improvement. Number one, figure out what's going on with this white space. Number two, change this word home to something a little more keyword rich. Number three, I'd put a menu here to separate out, you know, the about and the contact me pages to go into a menu, so it just has a little bit more of a nicer look. And then I'm not sure if you're using a widget here to get all your categories, but it looks like it, and I guess that's fine. Then you have your categories here. So you kind of have duplicated your categories. This is your menu. Okay, that's what's going on here, I think. You have a menu here, but then you're duplicating all your category locations here, which is really a duplicate scenario of this. So I mean, this, I would shorten this menu down to just your about and your contact me pages. And then in the bottom, that's where I'll put my stuff like the privacy page and the terms of service page. And you have that in your sitemap, which is another really good one. You can get rid of meta. It's just useless links that you're linking out to and giving up juice on your site to like WordPress and stuff like that. So I'd get rid of that. Increase your recent posts number to maybe 10. Let's go look at these. Yeah, you got a lot of white space. I'm not sure why. That's a homepage link, okay. This link is broken. You can see down in the bottom, it's leading to itself. It just adds that, so check that link. This appears to be your next and previous post. I would work those into your content. This looks like you use the tags shortcode in your content. I would remove that because that becomes very keyword stuffy. This is the tags shortcode is much better to be used in your metadata rather than actually content on your page or your category post. So let's go look at one of your posts. No images. Okay, I would definitely be using images in there because images have the image, the title of the image and the meta description in the image, and you're not taking advantage of that. So that's your categories. Let's go into a post. And then I'm seeing from your categories, so your category title, what you have set up is something like this, okay? Actually, you know what? I can show it on the Serp tech sheet. This is a great place to show it. This URL generator, guys, is a really good tool to visualize what your site's going to look like, okay? Let me open up a blank one. So your domain is atowncar.loan. Whoops. Let me make this a little bigger. I don't know why that's not working. Okay, there we go. HTTP or HTTPS, I'm not sure which one you have. Let's just assume it's HTTPS. Now your category, you have basically a scenario like this. For your category title, you're basically doing this. Okay, and then probably keyword. Let's go back to your site. Yeah. Okay, you have a scenario like this where your category title is like that. Sorry, not your title, your URL. Let's see what your title is. Wrong site. Let's close that. Okay, use Carl. Okay, there's your title. Category tit. Use car loans and bad credit. That's going to be a keyword. And then this is going to be your location. So that's probably going to be your, what is it called? Let's go back to this one and then I can tell. Builder post. It's going to be post. Okay. Okay, and then WordPress is inserting this piece for you. Okay, so the issue with your URL being category keyword is it's just a little too much, I would say, okay? You don't want to have, Wisconsin auto loan financing, and then you're also adding another keyword over here. You're just getting to, you're creating a scenario where you might be overdoing it on your URLs. Whereas if your URL was just this, okay, like for instance, what you have is this scenario, okay, and that's what it's looking like. But if you were to take out the category, the keyword part in the category, that would remove the keyword. And this is actually not category, this is post that we're looking at, sorry. Okay, see how this is a much nicer looking URL. All right, I took it. Let me. Sorry, I'm going all over the place here. Let me grab it again. Let's go to your posts. Okay, let's use this example. Okay, here's what you have. Okay, and here's what you actually want. So in your category scenario, you want to take out the keyword. Okay. And now you're getting all your keywords in there. So that's a much better thing. So there's a bunch of things that I see here that can be improved. Let me scroll back up here for questions. That was Bob. Bob, does that make sense? Okay, perfect. No problem. Just if you need a refresher too, Bob, go and watch the training videos, the over the shoulder series on how to build, and you'll pick up back on those things. Just to like a little refresher, you know, it definitely helps. Actually, you know what? You gave me admin login, so let me log into your site and actually show people where it's happening. I didn't see that now, but now I do. So I'll just log in on a different screen here. Okay. So I'm going to go to your builder. Okay, that doesn't tell me anything about why that big white space is there, so I'm not sure about what's going on there. Category template, yeah, this is exactly what I thought was happening. So your URL, you have keyword in there. You also don't have a space. That's going to create a little bit of an issue. So, but I would recommend getting rid of this keyword in your URL in the category template. That's exactly what I was showing here. Like this is what you have, right? Whereas what you want is more like that. And that's exactly it. Post template. However, this part, it's fine. It's fine for you. You could reverse these two if you really want to get a little more variables. Post name. So that's going to create like the city within Wisconsin as a big bold right here. It's an H1. So I wouldn't use an H1 here, okay? Because always remember guys that the title of your post is going to be the H1. Okay, so if we go and check out one of his sites at any post, he's going to now have two H1s, which is not really the best scenario. So this one is, let's go scroll down there. This is an H1. That might be an H2. It's showing as an H1, but okay. But you already have it here because the title of your post is going to show up as an H1 right away. So that right there is this right here. So starting out with Wisconsin as a bold is actually you're over optimizing as well right off the bat. What would be better, let's go into Madison because I believe Wisconsin was the state, whereas Madison is, yeah, it's just over optimized. So you have it there, you have it here. You have an issue with what's going on there. And then all these, yeah, not enough content here either. Let's go look at your content on your post. Yeah, this didn't work out for whatever reason. You probably don't actually have header 37 in your headers. Let's go look at that. So you don't even have any headers loaded up for whatever reason. And that's why when you put LSUP header 37 in your builder, it just shows a short code because it's not calling anything because there's nothing there to call. Okay, and then if we expand this out a bit more, Random image is good. Those are previous and next links. Yeah, this keywords is the thing that's adding all those keywords. That's just overdoing it at that point. So yeah, I think I pretty much covered it. There's a lot of little mistakes, but the nice thing about it is, and this is the nice thing for everybody, is when you're building sites, and I don't know if you're in the early stages or late stages or what, but when you're building sites, it's okay to make mistakes and you can still get results. Like you saw that he was still ranking on the first page for certain keywords, which is great, right? But there's so much more room for improvement when you go back and you look at your actual site and you start going through things and you're looking at like what's going on here, you know, and I'm over optimizing here. There's just room for improvement and you're already doing good off the start. So, and then this is just too much. I wouldn't do that. So yeah, there's a lot there that you can actually do a lot better with. And Ian, I know there's a big conversation going on. Ian Middleton, I know that there's a big conversation going on there, but really honestly, might have to talk on Facebook or something because I'm a little confused as to what's going on there. Robert says, hey, Herc, looks like the menu listings on a town car.loan is what is causing all the white. Yeah, you're probably right. Let's go look at your menu, actually. Let's go to your appearance. Let me fix this up for you right now, okay? He's right, though. Good catch. This menu is pushing everything down. So I don't even see a menu there, so it's got to be in your widgets then. You probably have a custom widget. Ooh, my internet is a little laggy. Okay, so you have search, you have recent posts. Search is fine. Wow, I can't even tell where that's coming from right now. Okay, let's get rid of that first of all. Let's add a menu and see if that changes it. Maybe that's the only thing. Maybe we just need to add a menu. So let's do this. Search recent posts is fine. You can bump it up. Let's say 10. Okay. We'll save that. Recent comments you can get rid of. Archives is, I mean, it's okay, but let's get rid of it. I hope it's okay that I'm working on your site, by the way. Okay, so now we got rid of those. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and go to our appearance and menus. Okay, and we're actually going to create a menu because I believe now that this is being defaulted by WordPress. It's adding a default menu for you because you haven't specified one. So we're just going to create a menu called header. Okay, and we're going to assign that as the primary menu, and we'll add the home page. Let's view all. We'll do the home, the about, and the contact. And that's typically all we're going to need. Okay, so we'll add those to the menu. So there they are. We'll save that menu. Okay, now we'll just refresh this and you'll see it'll change completely. So there you go. Okay, and then as far as your home page, and now we have a little bit more, we have more recent posts. So there's a better like spidering going on because you're linking to more posts. You got all your categories. You'd have to rebuild, honestly, to get rid of all this stuff. Tags, you're using far too many tags as well. Keep it to 10 to 15. And you have here like 50 or 60. And then your home page, let me show you how to do that. If we go to all posts, okay. Yeah, these are your tags. It's just too much. Let's look for home. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for the sticky front page. It'll say home on there, but I thought I could do a search for it. And you have 130, so I don't want to spend too much time showing you how to do this, just because I don't want to search too deep. But the other way you could do it is one more thing. Let's go to settings, reading. I believe it's writing. My internet's really slow. See, it is called home. I don't know why it didn't find it. So let's try that one more time. Okay, I don't know why. Homepage is not a post. Is it a page? It should be a post. Let's check. Thanks, Bob. Okay, you're right. There it is. So here, you can edit this, and instead of calling it home, I wouldn't do loans. Okay, you can change this to whatever you want. I'm just giving you an example, right? So when we update that, there you go. And then this, the reason this did this is because we added the home page to the menu, and it's going to add the title as the menu. So to change it, all you got to do is go back to your dashboard, to your menu, and rename that. And a home page link, honestly, isn't really that important anyways. But to change it, you would just see how it renamed it here. Oh yeah, it was a page. Good call. Okay, you would just have to rename it to whatever you want it, or get rid of it, because honestly, the homepage link on a home, becomes a homepage link anyway, so now it's a duplicate home. So, I mean, it's not really necessary, but there you go. That's how you would change that. So the site already is like functioning a lot better. Okay, that's enough on that one.
Can I just ask also, Bob says that he's got the Tag Cloud plugin. And my thoughts are, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm learning, you don't really need any other plugins than what's suggested. It works brilliantly with what's there. Obviously, test and try it and play with it till it breaks, but I haven't found the need for any other plugins other than what's recommended on the Serp builds. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. SerpTech already has the tagging abilities built in. So let me just do one more thing here. It's a cool tag cloud. Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but I mean, functionality wise, is it necessary? Not really. You know what I mean? So what I'll do here, let's just open up something. Well, it's already gone anyways, but yeah, you just don't need it. The SerpTech functionality already has it. Simply a beautiful tag cloud. So if I pull that plugin, see, you already have the, by default, WordPress puts all the tags of a post into the posts. So you really duplicated yourself anyways, and just not necessary.
Bob, have you found that site is ranking well, or is it not doing so great? because that, I would say, is probably the reason.
From the initial thing that I did, like one of the quick checks that I always do is like the pages that are indexing, are they ranking for the titles of the pages? Like I just grabbed one and he was already doing okay. But like I said, and that's why I was mentioning, you know, it's great that you can make some mistakes and still rank. Not that one, but this one was, I believe this one was ranking. But yeah, with all the improvements that we've given you, I think he could do a lot better. Yeah, there he is right there.
So should he re-index or just leave it to bubble away?
I think he should rebuild the site because there are things that are holding him back from doing a little better. And there's no harm. I mean, Bob, I'm doubting you. Yeah, he said he's going to rebuild it anyway. So I doubt that you have this rented out or with a client or whatever. But yeah, it's worth rebuilding and re-indexing just to improve the situation, right? And honestly, Bob, it's to rebuild. Somebody asked this too, by the way, and I want to show this. SerpTech does have the functionality in it to do the quick rebuild. So if you go to your site primer, okay, this is all you have to do is delete all post pages and comments, right? Clear generated data. You can even keep that. You can keep your generated data because you don't, I mean, you're going to keep using your articles, images, and keywords. I would reduce the one file though, your tags file, I would reduce that. And then once you reduce your tags file, re-upload your tag file, come into here, set it up like this, keep your permalinks, delete all your post pages and comments, and do not uncheck all these and then submit, and then go rebuild. And it's just a quick way to get your site done really, really quickly. And then when you go back to your builder, just make those slight little changes. Add a little more dynamic content there. Erase the keyword out of your title there. This one had take keywords out here. Same thing for post page. These are fine. You can reverse the order of the URL and the title with the same short codes just for a little bit more. Get rid of post name because it's already taken care of. Make sure you have your headers in the file before you use the short code so that they'll display properly. And then get rid of keywords here and then just rebuild. You also had a lot of keywords. Should you reduce that too? No, I mean, the keywords, the difference between keywords and tags, Bob, is that when you have a list of keywords, say it's, 1,000 keywords, when you want to use a keyword, okay, don't use the S because that'll upload the whole list. But if you just reduce it to keywords, so you can see right here, there's keywords and there's keyword. If you just use a singular, it'll auto-populate from that list, and you can have as many as you want in that list. But the tags itself is what you have to be careful with and keep that number low, because what ends up happening with tags, like we've shown you, is that if you have a list of like 100 tags, every page is going to get all those tags, and it just becomes far too much. So your tags you want to keep down. Your keywords can be as big as you want, but just remember that if you have a list of 200 keywords and your site is only going to be 50 pages, you're only going to take use of about 50 keywords depending on how many times you use that keyword short code, right? Your longest list of keywords should probably be in your images to use for right here, this keywords one, because these keywords, and you can import this or you can generate keywords, but the best place for those and the biggest list is going to be for your images. When you're adding your title and your alt tags, you want a lot of diversity there. So your shortest list is your tags, your next longest list should be your keywords, and then your absolute huge list can be your keywords for your images. Okay, cool. Was there any other questions that we missed here?
I don't think
Well,
so.
we're
That's
pretty
all that's
much-
coming through.
Yeah, no problem, Bob. Bobby liked that review. He liked that review. Good, good. Well, we're at about the hour mark here, guys. We did start a little bit late, so I'll give you guys a few more minutes to ask any more questions. Otherwise, we'll leave it at that. My notes, once again, for everyone that's on today is if you're feeling lost and you don't know what to do, definitely download this file from the Serp Tech group. And let me post the URL to the group so that if you haven't joined it already, you should be definitely joining this Serp Tech group. Okay, and then once you've joined and been approved to the group, come to the files section, download the Supremacy webinar notes, and that will give you basically this file right here. And then you'll be able to use your search and filter functions to look up the answers to any of your questions that you have, because we are, like Todd said, we are going to reduce the frequency of these webinars. But we've done so much. We've probably covered every single topic in detail already, so you'll have answers and a quick way to find them. Robert, should your images be half of your image keywords, 2 keywords plus 1 image? Well, your keywords, when you go to build your images, let me log back into Wicked Good and show you what that looks like. Your keyword list for your images can be really, really long, but it does divide itself up into alt tags and title tags. So you can see, right, like this is from the keyword list. This is from the keyword list, right? So this row of title and this row of alt both come from the keywords list, and then it populates. You mean if you have 100 keywords, should I have at least 50 images? No, not necessarily, because so what this short tag is going to do, for instance, if we use this this short tag else up image 179, it will use this image with this keyword and this alt tag, or this title tag and this alt tag. But typically that's not what we do. We don't actually supply the exact image. In our builder, what we usually do is we use a random image, right? So it will pull at random. So your 100 keywords will be spread at random amongst all your images. So you don't really need to worry about a ratio there. Just make sure that your keyword list is just a nice healthy list of good keywords for your images, and don't worry too much about the amount of images that you use. 50 is a great number, to be honest. It's probably more than I use. I usually use about 20 to 30 images tops. I mean, how many did I use here? Used a few more. Yeah, 30, 40, but yeah, 50 is fine. But just make sure you have a lot of keywords, a lot more keywords than you have images at least. And then that's just helping you with being very diverse. Okay, guys, last chance for questions. And Ian Middleton, can you, I don't have time to go through and read all this, but I don't know if Natalie answered your questions, but can you hit me up on Facebook as well? Just look up Herc Magnus on Facebook if you're not resolved, and then you and I can chat as well. She has, okay, perfect. Great, thanks, Nat. Nat for the win.
Yeah.
All right, guys, everybody good then? Nice, short and sweet today. Yeah, no problem, Bob. Thanks, Brian.
All right.
Thanks, Ian.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it. The next Serp Tech webinar will be, click on that tab again. Oh,
they're monthly now, so I might have to redo this page so that we're showing it. But let's look.
Yeah, it's yeah, next month. So
yeah, we're gonna try. I think we're doing the first Tuesday of each month is the way that we're gonna do it. So maybe on this page I'll lay it out a little more, you know, the next 4 webinars that are coming out, since it's going to take 4 months.
Anyway, guys, you guys will be getting emails to anyway. So if you click edit, oh yeah, it'll be on that schedule page right there. February the 7th, Wednesdays.
Yeah, Wednesdays. I meant Tuesdays are for Project Supremacy.
Right on. All right, guys. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Natalie. Thank you, Herc. And thanks to all of you for coming and hanging out with us for about an hour. And we will see you next month or on another webinar, perhaps. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.